Hey guys, welcome to Club Cal Online. Today we have a mobility class. I'm Coach Seth and I've got Coach Grace with me. She's going to be demoing all the movements today. As far as equipment for today, all you're going to need is a mat on the floor and a yoga block or two, or maybe a couple pillows, something that you can put underneath your upper back. We'll get to that later on. Right now, let's get our warm-up going. I'm going to have Grace start just jogging right in place. Let's do it. We got about a minute here. Just light on the toes, moving the arms. Oh, you can go a little faster than that.
You just kicked my butt.
That's true, that's true. Nice, guys. You at home, you guys are just trying to be nice and soft on your feet. Maybe you can run on your yoga mat if you like. You'll want to be barefoot for this class. We're going to be doing some toe and some ankle mobility stuff. So keep on jogging, maybe speed it up a little bit more. We got 30 seconds more. Just trying to get the heart rate up. Nice, Grace. 20 seconds left. In 3, 2, 1, and release. What I'm having you guys do now is something I just call a slow burpees. So Grace is going to come down to a plank. She's going to step back. She's going to do the best push-up she has. She can go down to the knees if she needs to. Then she's going to stand up. And when she gets to the top, I'm going to have her pull her arms back and look up toward the ceiling. Then she's going to go back down. So it's just a nice stretch, just like you just got out of bed. If you do push-ups right when you get out of bed. Nice. And keep on going for that back bend. When you guys get to that back bend, you can look up at the ceiling, maybe even look back toward the wall behind you. Get a good stretch through the chest and the spine. Down and up. Burpees get a bad rap, but they're a great move. We're going to keep at this, guys, for another 30 seconds. Push up, stand up, pull back. Today's going to be a total body mobility, so we're going to start with some shoulders, move into the hips, and finish with a little bit of spine work. And let's get one final rep in, down into our push-up, back up, and one last back bend. Good. Now we're going to go just into some normal squats. So find your squat width with your feet and squatting down as low as you can go, standing back up. 3, 2, 1, and go. We're trying to keep the weight equal on both feet. We're trying to keep our heels down and our knees are going right over the center of our feet. Grace is getting way down there. Maybe you get that low, maybe you don't. Just go as low as you can safely. Nice job, Grace. Got about 15 seconds left. And release. Nice work, guys. We're going to go into the shoulder stuff first. So I'm going to have Grace go down into a quadruped position, just hands and knees. And we're going to start with some scap shrugs. So with your knees down right now, we're just going to try to pinch the shoulder blades together and then push them apart. And you can see as she pinches them together, her chest sinks down to the floor. As she pushes them apart, it comes up toward the ceiling. Her elbows are locked. Cool. You guys can join us at home for a few reps here. Down and up. See if it's working for you. And now release that. That's the first version. The second version is she's going to come all the way into a plank. So her knees are going to come off the floor. And she's going to try the same thing here. Squeezing and pushing away. Awesome. Take a break. Our second move in this first one is going to be a table rock. So she's going to sit on her butt. Bring her hands behind her back. And now we're going to squeeze the shoulders back, and she's going to press the hips up, driving through her heels, squeezing the glutes. Nice work. You guys are going to get a good stretch to the front of the chest. And release. All right, guys, so we're going to go into this. We're going to do it twice, 30 seconds per movement. So I'm going to have Grace go back to her plank. Two options, option 1 on the knees, option 2 up in the plank. We're going in 3, 2, 1, and hold. Going for reps. Again, guys, totally okay to do this on the knees or do this in a plank, but we're trying to get good range of motion through the shoulder blades. We're trying to minimize what's happening with our low back, trying not to arch a ton. We're just trying to get the shoulder blades moving. A few more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to have her go back to those table rocks. Sitting on your butt, hands back. 3, 2, 1, and hips press up. Now Grace is already pretty warm because she did a bit of filming before this, the last class. But as you guys do this, your hips may not get as high right away. That's totally okay. As you go through this and you get warmer, those hips will get higher. Nice job with the shoulders. Every time we're pulling the shoulders back. How are those shoulders feeling?
They're tired.
Tired. 3, 2, 1. And we're going back to those scap shrugs, guys. We're going to do that one more time. One more round through. Finding that position. 3, 2, 1, and go for it. Again, one of the toughest things, and a lot of us at home are probably doing it, is a lot of us bend the elbows. Just try to keep them straight. That just ensures that all that movement is coming from the shoulder blades. Not the end of the world, but that just gets more motion. Good work, Grace. 3, 2, 1. Back to our table rocks. Hands back, 3, 2, 1, and lift. You notice, you guys, Grace has her fingers pointed backward. This can also be done with fingers forward. Feel free to try both versions at home. Decide on which one you like more. And every time we're still squeezing the glutes as we press the hips up. You got about 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and release. So we're going to go back to that quadruped position. Next up, we're going to do some twisting bears. So she's going to start in this bear position. Quadruped, she's going to lift her knees off the floor. So I'm still going to have you keep your knees down here a little bit. And now she's going to take one leg and she's going to thread it underneath the body. This is going to make one hand become light, and she's going to lift it up and reach it overhead. And then she's going to come back into that bear position. Now she's going to try it on the other side. Awesome. Grace is making this look really easy, but you may just rotate a little bit less. Maybe you just get about that far, and then you come back down. You're good there, Grace. Move number 2, I'm going to have Grace come into a kneeling, high kneeling position like I'm in now. She's going to put her hands at her low back. And I want you to imagine there's a wall in front of you, and you're trying to keep your hands and arms away from the wall. So she pulls her elbows back. She's going to straighten her arms, bring them all the way around overhead, pulling back this whole time. And she's going to come back, bending the arms, and the hands come right back to her low back. Great. So we're going to do that just like we did before, 2 rounds, 30 seconds each. You ready? Mm-hmm. So we're going to go back to those twisting bears. You guys won't be able to see us, so I'll just key you through it. Find your bear position. Lift those knees off the floor, and let's do it. Thread one leg underneath. 30 seconds. Starts now. Nice job, Grace. For some people out there that are really mobile as they reach overhead, they can actually get into a bridge position. If that's you at home and if that's something safe and in your wheelhouse, go for it. Nice job, Grace. It's a nice shoulder strength and stretch going on here. 3, 2, 1, and bring it back to the mat, guys. Hands at the low back, high kneeling. This can also be done standing if kneeling's not super comfortable. Let's do this. Pull the elbows back. 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice, Grace. Pulling those elbows back. You guys will recognize this upper position. This is very important for handstands, so we're working on pulling those hands back, creating strength through here. Mobility is flexibility plus strength. So stretching and strengthening is a good combo. A few more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, and release. All right, second round, guys. We're going back to those bear twists. 3, 2, 1, and let's do it. One leg threads under, other arm lifts up. Again, don't worry too much if you're not going quite as far as Grace, or maybe some of you guys might even go farther. How are those shoulders feeling?
They're warm.
Warm. Almost there, guys. 3, 2, 1, and release. Back to our high kneeling or standing position, hands at the low back, pull the elbows back. 3, 2, 1, go for it. The hardest part for most of us is when we get our hands up overhead. I want you to try your best to lock your elbows. Grace is doing a great job of that. Reaching up and pulling the arms back this whole time. Nice job, Grace. We've got 10 seconds left, guys. 3, 2, 1, and release. Nice job. So we're going to give the shoulders a break for a moment. We're going to go to some squats. So let's stand it up. Just like we did in the warm-up, I'm going to have you guys go back to those squats. Find whatever squat width works for you. The only thing that I care about is that the knees are going over the center of the feet and you're trying to keep your chest up. 3, 2, 1, and squats. Nice, Grace. We're trying to keep those heels down, trying to keep the weight equal through our feet, keeping yourself balanced. So this whole next stage, this next part, we're going to be working on the squat. We're going to work on the ankles a bit, the hips a bit, and then we'll return back to this squat at the end. So now what we're going to do is go down to the bottom, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to hold the bottom of our squat for 30 seconds. So for Grace, this is pretty easy. So what I'm going to have her, if she wants a little added challenge, is she's going to bring her feet just a little bit closer to each other. She's still trying to get her heels down, but that's going to challenge most of us. On the other side of the spectrum, if this is too difficult for you, you might need to bring your feet out a little wider. I'm pretty tall. I need to bring my feet a little wider to be comfortable down here. If you're one of those people that can squat with your feet together, give yourself a pat on the back. That's awesome. That's really good ankle mobility right there. 3, 2, 1, and I'm going to have you guys stand it up. Nice. How those hips feel?
Good.
Shake them out a little bit at home, guys. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time on the ankles, like I said. So I'm actually going to have Grace move off the mat just for a second. I'm going to have you guys come down into this combat position. So this back knee doesn't really matter. You're just off to the side. But I want you to be able to put weight on this front leg. Your foot is flat to begin with. And what I want you guys to do is put some weight into it. This is going to stretch your toes and try to touch your knee to the floor and then come back up and return to that original combat position. And down again. So you can see my toes are really getting a big stretch. That's something that I need to work on. Let's do it. So Grace is going to demo as you guys do this at home. So you guys are going to join in. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. We're just going to go for reps for 1 minute. Do you feel much stretch in the toes?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
Feels good.
So when she gets back to here, she can put the weight of her torso over the center of her foot. And then as it comes forward, she's driving a little bit of weight through that foot, whatever she can feel is comfortable and safe. I told you guys to go right over the center of the foot. Maybe you go a little to the side, one way or the other. Totally okay. Just try it out and find a good stretch. Which ankle did you break?
This one.
How many months ago? 7 months.
8 months ago.
So Grace is recovering from an ankle injury and she's doing pretty well. We'll see if she feels a difference when she goes to the other side. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this, guys. 1 minute on the other leg now. Same thing. Getting into that low combat position, stretching the back of the ankle, and then driving the knee forward. 3, 2, 1, and go. Does this side feel easier or any different?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely easier.
Yep. You can see she's kind of bouncing her chest into her leg a little bit, trying to get a little bit extra weight into that. A lot of our squat has to do with our ankles and has to do with this angle that you can get your foot in at this bottom position right here. Trying to get your knee forward of your toes is very useful for a good squat. We're almost there. We got about 15 seconds left. Nice job, Grace. You feel anything in the toes or just the ankle?
Both.
Cool. 3, 2, 1. And you guys can stand it up. We're going to work on our Cossack a little bit. So now we're going to focus a little more on the hips, although still focusing on the ankles, and they're still involved. So I'm going to have Grace go into a straddle on her mat. Wide straddle, about double shoulder width. And now she's going to do Cossack squats. So she's going to come down to one side, reaching her hands forward, hips back, and then she's going to come back up to the middle and down to the other side. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And now she's going very, very low. Not a lot of us can go this low. She's making it look super easy. It's not. Her knees, they're aimed right over her feet. Her feet aren't turned exactly straight forward, but maybe yours are. Just make sure your knees are following your feet, roughly. If needed, you guys can also use the hands on the floor when you get to the bottom to support you a little bit. So legs are getting warm. On her next rep down, on the other side, she's going to hold it. We've got 30 seconds down here at the bottom, guys. This is where maybe you put your hands on the floor. If you want an added challenge, don't use your hands. Just try to keep yourself floating just using your legs. You're going to have to reach your hands forward a bit. Most of us. So you can tell she's still stretching that ankle a little bit. You might feel a bit there, pushing some weight over the leg. That's not even fair. You're all the way to the ground. 3, 2, 1, and let's switch sides, guys. You can go up through the middle or straight across the bottom. 3, 2, 1, and hold it on the other side. You can see here her knee is on the outside of her torso. That's something we're aiming for. If things are feeling pretty weird, oftentimes it means that the knee is in the center of your chest or it's not quite as wide. you may just need to bring your stance wider. You can wiggle things around, stretch it out. Grace has a full middle split, so this is not what most of us look like.
This is my jam.
Too easy. 3, 2, 1, and bring it up. Shake those legs out a little bit. Next up, we're gonna work on bringing the knee into the chest. So I'm gonna have you lay down on your back. And we're just gonna take a light stretch here with a little bit of engagement toward the end. So she can choose which leg, doesn't matter which. She's gonna pull it up into her chest, but I want you to pull it into your chest at the same angle that you would be in a very low squat. So maybe not straight up, maybe it's out to the side a little bit. And we're just gonna hold that position, 30 seconds. This other leg, try to keep it glued to the floor. Again, she's probably going a little more range of motion than most of us. You're making it look too easy.
Been doing it for a long time.
Sure. So we're just hanging out down here, guys, pulling it in, feeling a bit of a stretch. Do you feel a stretch?
I do, yeah.
Cool. Three, 2, 1, and what I'm going to have her do next is she's going to keep holding that leg in, but she's going to use the muscles in her leg to pull her knee up into her chest, and she's going to let go of her hands, and we're going to hold that. Do this at home. 10, 9, 8. So she's trying to pull this knee in, but not using her hands. 5, 4, 3. This other leg is glued to the floor. 2, and release. Nice. You're going to feel a lot of hip flexor engagement. Leg comes out, other leg comes up. Same idea, guys. Follow whatever pattern your squat is or close to it and hold it in. 3, 2, 1, and hold. Hip flexor is a common term that we say a lot. When I say hip flexor, it's just anything that brings this knee closer to the chest. It's all this stuff. Front of the leg, some of this stuff right in your hip. Any different from the other side?
This side might be a little bit tighter. This left side is my
ankle side. So same thing again, guys. We're going to do that 10-second hold. So you're going to pull that knee into the chest, start to engage your leg muscles. You're going to release the hands and hold the leg there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. I think I skipped 5. You're welcome. Awesome. So now I'm going to have Grace flip over. You guys are going to do a quick seal stretch, just to stretch those hip flexors just a tad. Give you a break. Hold that. Straight arms, down on the forearms, whichever you prefer. Again, not a range of motion all of us are able to get into. Making it look too easy. And let's release that, guys. Let's stand up. We're going to go back to our squat. We're going to test it out, see how it feels. It should have improved just a little bit. So find that same squat stance you used earlier. Let's squat down and up for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and go. And then we'll do our hold at the end.
That's awesome.
How you feeling?
A lot better.
Nice. So if your squat feels a lot better right now, like Grace's does, that's awesome. But tomorrow, that change is probably going to go away. And so you have to work on this every single day. Find a couple things that worked from this routine or other routines and do them every day. And that's what will create lasting change. You'll also want to create some strength. So that active knee to the chest thing, really useful for that. 3, 2, 1, down to the bottom, guys. 30 seconds in that low squat. Grace's feet are way closer than before. Can you bring them together, or is that challenging there? Yep. Goal here is to get our feet all the way together. Somewhat of a lifetime goal. It takes time. 10 more seconds, guys. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Stand it back up. Shake it out. So we're done with shoulders, we're done with hips, we're just gonna do a little bit of spine stuff. This is where you guys can grab your yoga blocks or maybe a towel rolled up, maybe another mat rolled up. She's gonna put the yoga blocks on the floor. And now she's gonna lay on her back and she's gonna try to put the yoga blocks right under her thoracic spine, somewhere near her rib cage. So as she lays back here, she's going to start to feel a stretch through her spine. To make it more intense, you can bring your arms overhead. Another way to make it more intense is to try to drop this part of your spine down to the floor. That's going to create more stretch. We're going to spend 2 minutes here, guys. So you can go ahead and get into position. 3, 2, 1, and hold. You guys want to just try to breathe here. Relax. Let your lower body just sink into the floor. Same thing with the arms. You're going to notice you might be taking shallow breaths because this is a tough position to be in. Try to take big belly breaths. See how that changes the stretch. If the stretch starts to go away, you guys can scoot your way up or down to put that object, that pillow, that yoga block at a different part of your spine, and it'll change your stretch. How you doing?
Good. Feels amazing.
So we're hanging out here, guys. We got plenty of time left, about a minute. Relax. If at any time that becomes too much, just take those arms out to the side or maybe even bring them to the chest. You want to try a little different position? Slide a little bit?
Forward or back?
Up to you. Yep. Grace is just scooting up a little bit, changing her stretch. Whatever that object is under there, that's just creating a little point of contact. That's where it's going to make that stretch bow. Another thing I like to do here if my arms are out in a cactus position is I just slide them up, get a little extra stretch, and then I slide them back down. Good option there. Final few seconds here. Deep breath. And you guys can slowly escape that position, come out of it. Nice and slow and gingerly. All right, guys, last thing, real quick, we'll just do a quadruped cat cow. Just move that spine around a little bit. This is the last 30 seconds of class today. How's that spine feel?
Really good.
You guys can move a little side to side, freestyle the spine a bit. Just whatever feels good. Awesome. All right, guys, and release. Great work. That was mobility class. Thanks for joining Grace and I, and we'll see you guys next time.